Hey, hi guys. In today's lesson, we're going to see the verb to have in Spanish. Okay, so let's start. All right, the verb to have in Spanish means tener. Tener. Okay, so now we're going to see how we're going to conjugate this verb, tener, according to the affirmative form, forma afirmativa. Affirmative form, okay? So now we have our personal pronouns, okay? Remember the personal pronoun I in Spanish, it's yo. I, yo, okay? So to say I have in Spanish, we have to say yo tengo, and then immediately after that, we have to put, like for example, I have 2 dogs, okay? The possession. I own 2 dogs. I have 2 dogs, okay? It's indicating that I possess 2 dogs, okay? We also can say I have blue eyes. I'm indicating a quality I have, okay? So I can put a possession or a quality someone has, okay? So for example, according to the personal pronoun I, in Spanish I have to say yo tengo. Yo tengo, okay? Yo tengo dinero. I have money, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun you, remember the personal pronoun you, in Spanish it's tú, tú, okay? So to say you have, in Spanish we have to say tú tienes, okay? You have, tú tienes. If we want to say you have money, in Spanish we have to say tú tienes dinero, okay? That would be the translation from English to Spanish. Now, with the personal pronoun he, él, okay? If we want to say he has, okay? In Spanish we have to say él tiene. Él tiene. Okay? Now, with the personal pronoun she, ella, if we want to say she has, okay, we have to say in Spanish, ella tiene. Ella tiene. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, nosotros, in Spanish, if we want to say we have, okay, we have, in Spanish we have to say nosotros tenemos. Nosotros tenemos. Okay? Now the next personal pronoun we have, it's you in the plural form. Okay? You in the plural form in Spanish, it's ustedes. Ustedes. Okay? So if you want to say you have in the plural form, in Spanish you have to say ustedes tienen. Ustedes tienen. And now the last personal pronoun, okay? In English, we have they, okay? If we are referring to boys or girls or boys and girls, the only subject pronoun we're going to use in English is they, okay? But in Spanish, if you are referring to a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, then you're going to use the personal pronoun ellos. Ellos, okay? Remember, boys or boys and girls mixed. So if you want to say they have, and you're referring to a group of boys and boys and girls mixed, then you have to say ellos tienen. Ellos tienen. Okay, that means they have. Ellos tienen. Now, if you are referring only to a group of girls, okay, women, then you have to say they have, again in English, but in Spanish you have to say Ellas tienen. Ellas tienen. Okay? Now let's see some examples with each personal pronoun, okay? Here we have this sentence. I have brown hair, okay? I have brown hair. We have to say, yo tengo el cabello café in Spanish, okay? Yo, that means I, have, tengo, el cabello café, brown hair, okay? In Spanish, you have to put the article el, okay? El cabello café. You can't say, yo tengo cabello café. No, it sounds a little bit weird. So you have to say, yo tengo el cabello café. Okay, if you don't have brown hair, then you can say, yo tengo el cabello negro. Negro means black, okay? If you have blonde hair, you can say, yo tengo el cabello rubio, okay? Blonde hair, rubio, cabello rubio, okay? This is according to our personal pronoun, I. Now let's see some sentence with the personal pronoun, you, okay? We have, you have 2 siblings, okay? You have 2 siblings. How to say this in Spanish? Tú, okay? This is our personal pronoun. Then we have to put the verb to have. In this case, tienes, tú tienes, you have 2 siblings, dos hermanos. Okay, here we're talking about a boy and a girl, so we can say hermanos. Okay, but if we were talking about only 2 girls, okay, we have to say hermanas. Tú tienes 2 hermanas. Okay, but here we're talking about a boy and a girl, so we're going to say tú tienes 2 hermanos. You have 2 siblings. Now, according to the personal pronoun he, okay, we have this sentence. He has 2 dogs. Okay, he has 2 dogs. To say this in Spanish, we have to say, él tiene 2 perros. Él tiene 2 perros. Okay? He means él, has, tiene, 2 dogs, 2 perros. Okay? So this would be our affirmative sentence using the personal pronoun he. Okay? Now the next sentence, it's having the personal pronoun she, okay? So to say she has 20 years, in Spanish we have to say ella tiene 20 años. Ella tiene 20 años, okay? She, ella, has, tiene 20 años, 20 years, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun, we, okay, if we want to say, we have a very big family, okay? We have a very big family. In Spanish, first, we have to put family, and then after that, like the characteristic of that family, okay? In this case, very big. In English, we put first the description and then the word family, the noun, okay? But in Spanish, we have to put first the family and after that, the description of like how big or small is that family, okay? So in English, we're going to say, we have a very big family. Okay, first is the description and then family. But in Spanish, it's going to be different, okay? Here's what we have to say. Nosotros tenemos una familia muy grande. Okay, first, our personal pronoun, nosotros, we tenemos, have, okay, a very big family. Okay, here's what I was saying. First, we have to say una familia and then the description, okay? How is it family? Very big. In Spanish, we're going to say muy grande. Okay, so that description goes after our noun, okay? So we're going to say, nosotros tenemos una familia muy grande. Nosotros tenemos una familia muy grande. Okay, that would be the translation. Now, according to the personal pronoun, you in the plural form, okay, the affirmative form would be, you have a lot of work. Okay, you have a lot of work in English. In Spanish, to say that, you have to say, ustedes tienen mucho trabajo. Ustedes tienen mucho trabajo. Okay, ustedes means you have, tienen, a lot of work, mucho trabajo. Now, according to the personal pronoun, they, if we're talking about a group of boys, guys, men, then we have to say this, okay? They have a very good sense of humor. This is what this sentence is saying, okay? They have a very good sense of humor, okay? In Spanish, to say that, we have to say, ellos tienen muy buen sentido del humor, okay? Ellos tienen muy buen sentido del humor. Okay, that means they, ellos, have, tienen a very good, muy buen sense of humor, sentido del humor. Okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun, they, if we are referring to a group of girls, okay, then we have to say, they have singing classes, okay? To say they have singing classes, in Spanish we have to say, ellas tienen clases de canto. Ellas tienen clases de canto, okay? Ellas, they, have, tienen, singing classes, clases de canto. All right, so that was all about the affirmative form. Now let's go to the negative form. Forma negativa. Okay, the negative form. So again, we have our personal pronouns. Okay, so let's start with the first personal pronoun with I, yo. So to say I don't have, in Spanish we have to say yo no tengo. Okay, we have to put our personal pronoun and then immediately after that the word no. No. And then after that our verb to have. Okay, in this case, tengo, because we are talking about the personal pronoun I. Okay, so to say I do not have, I don't have, we have to say in Spanish, yo no tengo. Okay, and then after that, our complement. Yo no tengo lápices. I don't have pencils. Okay? Now let's go to our next personal pronoun. We have the personal pronoun you. Okay? Tú. Tú in Spanish. So to say you don't have, in Spanish we have to say tú no tienes. Tú no tienes. Okay? You don't have. Tú no tienes. You don't have pencils. Tú no tienes lápices. Okay? Now the next personal pronoun we have it's he, okay? So to say he doesn't have, in Spanish we have to say él no tiene. Él no tiene. Él no tiene. Okay? Now the next personal pronoun we have she, ella. Okay, so to say she doesn't have, in Spanish we have to say ella no tiene. Ella no tiene. Now the next personal pronoun is nosotros. Okay, so to say we don't have, in Spanish we have to say nosotros no tenemos. Nosotros no tenemos. Okay, we don't have. Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, ustedes, to say to say you don't have, you have to say ustedes no tienen in Spanish, okay? Ustedes no tienen, you don't have. Now let's go to the last personal pronouns, okay? To they, okay? If we're talking about a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, to say they don't have, we have to say in Spanish, ellos no tienen. Ellos no tienen. Okay? Now, if we are referring only to a group of girls, then we have to say ellas no tienen. Okay? Ellas no tienen. That means they don't have. Now let's see some examples according to our personal pronouns, okay? Here with the personal pronoun I, if I want to say, I don't have brown hair, to say I don't have brown hair, in Spanish we have to say, yo no tengo el cabello café. Yo no tengo el cabello café. Okay, that means yo, don't have, no tengo, brown hair, el cabello café. Okay, that's the translation. Yo no tengo el cabello café. Now let's go with the personal pronoun you. Okay, if you want to say in the negative form, you don't have two siblings. Okay, you don't have two siblings. In Spanish, you have to say, tú no tienes dos hermanos. Tú no tienes dos hermanos. Okay, you, that means tú, don't have, no tienes, two siblings, dos hermanos. Okay, that would be the translation. Tú no tienes dos hermanos. Now we have the personal pronoun he, okay? So if we want to say, he doesn't have two dogs, okay? If we want to say, he doesn't have two dogs, in Spanish we have to say, él no tiene dos perros. He doesn't have, no tiene, two dogs, dos perros, would be the translation, okay? Él no tiene dos perros because he has two cats, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun she, ella, here's a sentence we have. She doesn't have 20 years, okay? To say she doesn't have 20 years in Spanish, we have to say ella no tiene 20 años. Ella no tiene 20 años. Okay, ella, she, doesn't have, no tiene, 20 years, 20 años. Now we have the personal pronoun we, okay? And here's the sentence we have. We don't have a very big family. To say we don't have a very big family, in Spanish we have to say nosotros no tenemos una familia muy grande. Nosotros no tenemos una familia muy grande. Okay, that means we, nosotros, don't have, no tenemos, a very big family, una familia muy grande. Now, according to the personal pronoun, you in the plural form, okay, here we have the sentence. You don't have a lot of work. To say you don't have a lot of work, in Spanish we have to say, ustedes no tienen mucho trabajo. Ustedes no tienen mucho trabajo. Okay, that means ustedes, you, don't have, no tienen, a lot of work, mucho trabajo. Now we have the personal pronoun they, okay? If we're having a group of boys, or boys and girls mixed, or a boy and a girl, we're going to say ellos, okay? So if we want to say they don't have a very good sense of humor, okay? To say that in Spanish, we have to say ellos no tienen muy buen sentido del humor. Ellos no tienen muy buen sentido del humor. Okay? Translation. They, ellos, don't have, no tienen, a very good, muy buen sense of humor. Sentido del humor. Okay? Ellos no tienen muy buen sentido del humor. Now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we are talking about a group of girls, then we have to say, they don't have singing classes, okay? In Spanish, we're going to say, ellas no tienen clases de canto. Ellas no tienen clases de canto, okay? Ellas, they, don't have, no tienen, singing classes, clases de canto. Now let's go to the affirmative interrogative form or positive interrogative form. Forma interrogativa, positiva, or afirmativa. Okay, so let's explore how we're going to work with this form. So we have the personal pronouns, okay? With the personal pronoun I, yo, if you want to create a question in English, you're going to do this. Do I have? Do I have? Okay, we're having auxiliary. In this case, in Spanish, we are not having any auxiliary, okay? In this case, only we're going to put our verb to have, the conjugation of the verb to have, and then immediately after that, our personal pronoun, okay? In this case, to create a question, we're going to say, tengo yo, okay? And then after that, my complement, okay? Tengo yo. Tengo yo. Now, according to the personal pronoun you, in English, we're going to say, do you have? Okay? Do you have? But in Spanish, we have to say, ¿tienes tú? ¿Tienes tú? And remember always to put a question mark at the beginning of your question and at the end of your question, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun he, él, okay, in English, we're going to say, does he have? Does he have? But in Spanish, we're going to say, tiene él, tiene él. Now, according to the personal pronoun she, ella, in English, we're going to say, does she have? Does she have? In Spanish, we have to say, tiene ella, tiene ella. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, the question in English would be, do we have? Do we have? In Spanish, we have to say, tenemos nosotros, tenemos nosotros. Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, ustedes, in Spanish, to create a question, you have to do this in English, okay? Do you have? Okay, that would be the question. In Spanish, the question would be, ¿tienen ustedes? ¿Tienen ustedes? Now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we're talking about a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, then the question would be, do they have in English, okay? In Spanish, if you're referring to a group of boys, men, you have to say, ¿tienen ellos? ¿Tienen ellos? Okay, boys or boys and girls mixed. Now, if we're talking about only girls, okay, in Spanish, the question would be, ¿tienen ellas? ¿Tienen ellas? Okay, that means do they have, but if we're talking about only females. Now let's see some examples, okay? With the affirmative questions. We have, do I have brown hair? That would be the question according to the personal pronoun I. Do I have brown hair? ¿Tengo yo el cabello café? Do I have brown hair? She's having brown hair, so the answer in Spanish would be sí. That means yes. I have brown hair. Tengo el cabello café. Okay, you can put yo tengo el cabello café. I have brown hair. But also you can put tengo el cabello café without the personal pronoun yo. Okay? So you can say sí, tengo el cabello café, or sí, yo tengo el cabello café. Okay? Now I have the next question, okay? The next question, according to the personal pronoun you, yes. Do you have two brothers? Do you have two brothers? Okay, to say this in Spanish, we have to say, ¿tienes tú dos hermanos? ¿Tienes tú dos hermanos? First, we have the verb to have, then our personal pronoun, and then the complement, okay? ¿Tienes tú dos hermanos? To answer yes, to give a positive answer, you have to say, yes, I have two brothers in English. To say this in Spanish, you have to say, sí, tengo dos hermanos. Sí, tengo dos hermanos. Okay, and this is a positive answer. Now, according to the personal pronoun he, to say, does he have two dogs? Does he have two dogs? ¿Tiene él dos perros? Okay, that would be the question in Spanish. ¿Tiene él dos perros? Okay, and then the positive answer, the affirmative answer would be yes, he has two dogs. Okay, to say yes, he has two dogs, in Spanish you have to say sí, that means yes. Tiene dos perros. Okay, you also can put the personal pronoun. Él tiene dos perros. He has two dogs, or simply tiene dos perros. Sí, tiene dos perros. Yes, he has two dogs. Okay, In Spanish, you can omit, as I told you, the personal pronoun. In English, you can't, okay? This is the next question according to the personal pronoun she, okay? So the question we have is, does she have 20 years? Does she have 20 years? To say this in Spanish, we have to say, ¿tiene ella 20 años? ¿Tiene ella 20 años? Okay, so we're going to answer with a positive answer, affirmative answer. Yes, she has 20 years. So to answer, yes, she has 20 years, in Spanish we have to answer, sí, ella tiene 20 años. Sí, ella tiene 20 años. Okay, that would be the answer in Spanish, the positive answer. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, here's our question, affirmative question, okay? We have, do we have a very big family? Do we have a very big family? To say this in Spanish, we have to say, ¿tenemos nosotros una familia muy grande? ¿Tenemos nosotros una familia muy grande? Also, you can omit the personal pronoun and you can say only, ¿tenemos una familia muy grande? ¿Tenemos una familia muy grande? Okay. Now, to answer with a positive answer, then we have to say, yes, we have a very big family. Okay. So to say this in Spanish, we have to say, sí, tenemos una familia grande. Or, sí, tenemos una familia muy grande. Very, muy grande. Very big, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, the affirmative question in English would be, do you have a lot of work? Okay, to say do you have a lot of work, in Spanish you have to say, ¿tienen ustedes mucho trabajo? Okay, we're talking about plural, okay? ¿Tienen ustedes mucho trabajo? ¿Tienen ustedes mucho trabajo? And the positive answer, the affirmative answer would be in English, yes, we have a lot of work, okay? And to say yes, we have a lot of work, in Spanish we have to say, sí, tenemos mucho trabajo. Sí, tenemos mucho trabajo. All right, now we have the personal pronoun they, okay? If we're talking about a group of boys, like in this case, or boys and girls mixed, then the question would be, do they have a very good sense of humor? Do they have a very good sense of humor? To say that, in Spanish, we're going to say, ¿tienen ellos muy buen sentido del humor? ¿Tienen ellos muy buen sentido del humor? And if we want to answer in a positive way, then we have to say, yes, they have a very good sense of humor, okay? In English. In Spanish, we have to answer, sí, yes. They have a very good sense of humor. Tienen muy buen sentido del humor, okay? As you can see, you can omit the personal pronoun and just put yes. Tienen, sí. Tienen muy buen sentido del humor, okay? But you also can say, sí, ellos tienen muy buen sentido del humor, okay? You can put the personal pronoun when you're answering or not, okay? You decide. Okay, now the next personal pronoun, it's they, but when we're talking about girls, okay? So to create a question, in English we have to say, do they have singing classes? Okay, to say this in Spanish we have to say, ¿tienen ellas clases de canto? ¿Tienen ellas clases de canto? Okay, that means, do they have singing classes? And to create an affirmative answer, we have to say in English, yes, they have singing classes. Okay? To say yes, they have singing classes, in Spanish we have to say, sí, ellas tienen clases de canto. Sí, ellas tienen clases de canto. Okay? As you can see here, we're putting the personal pronoun. Sí, ellas tienen clases de canto, but you also can say, sí, tienen clases de canto. Okay? All right, now let's go to the negative interrogative form. Okay? Forma interrogativa negativa. Negative interrogative form. Alright, so to create sentences with the negative interrogative form, according to the personal pronoun I, yo, the negative question would be in English. Don't I have? Don't I have? Okay? In Spanish, we are going to say, no tengo yo. Okay, and then your complement. No tengo yo. No tengo yo. Okay, first we have to put the word no. After that, we have to put the verb to have according to the personal pronoun. In this case, for the personal pronoun I, we have to put and conjugate the verb to have as tengo. No tengo, and then after our verb to have, we have to put our personal pronoun. In this case, the personal pronoun I in Spanish is yo. No tengo yo. So that would be our negative question, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun you, to say don't you have, that's a negative question in English. Don't you have? To say don't you have, in Spanish we have to say no tienes tú. No tienes tú. Okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun he, in English, we're going to say, doesn't he have? Doesn't he have? Okay? In Spanish, we're going to say, no tiene él. No tiene él. Okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun she, okay, the question would be, doesn't she have? The negative question. Doesn't she have? In Spanish, we have to say, no tiene ella. No tiene ella. Okay, now according to the personal pronoun we, nosotros, the negative question in English would be, don't we have? Don't we have? Okay, in Spanish, no tenemos nosotros. No tenemos nosotros. Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, the negative question would be, don't you have? In the plural form. In English, don't you have? In Spanish, in the plural form, we're going to say, no tienen ustedes. No tienen ustedes. And now the two last personal pronouns, okay? In English, the last personal pronoun would be they, okay? Now, in Spanish, if we're talking about a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, we're going to talk about ellos. They, ellos, okay? So the question would be, don't they have? To say don't they have, if we are referring to a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, the question would be, ¿no tienen ellos? ¿No tienen ellos? Okay, no tienen ellos. And then if we are referring only to a group of girls, then the question would be, no tienen ellas. No tienen ellas. In English, it's the same. Don't they have, okay? But in Spanish, if you are referring to a group of boys, no tienen ellos, or boys and girls mixed. And if you are referring only to a group of girls, then you have to say, no tienen ellas, okay? Now let's see some examples, okay? According to the personal pronoun I, the question, the negative question would be, don't I have brown hair? Don't I have brown hair? To say this, in Spanish we have to say, ¿no tengo yo el cabello café? Don't I have brown hair? Okay. No tengo yo el cabello café. And then the negative answer would be, no, you have purple hair. Okay, because a girl is having purple hair, so the negative answer would be, no, you have purple hair. Okay, and Spanish would be, no, tienes el cabello morado. No, tienes el cabello morado. Okay, that means no, you have purple hair. Tienes el cabello morado. Okay, that would be the negative answer. Now, according to the personal pronoun you, the negative question would be, don't you have two siblings? Don't you have two siblings? To say this, in Spanish we have to say, ¿no tienes tú dos hermanos? ¿No tienes tú dos hermanos? Okay, first, the word no, then the verb to have, tienes tú, okay, according to the personal pronoun you, and then our complement, dos hermanos, okay? And now the negative answer would be, no, I just have one brother. Okay, that would be the negative answer. No, I just have one brother. In Spanish, to say this, we have to say, no, yo solo tengo un hermano. No, yo solo tengo un hermano. And if you want to remove, okay, the personal pronoun, also you can say, no, solo tengo un hermano. Okay, you decide if you want to put the personal pronoun yo or you don't want to put it, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun he, okay, the question would be, doesn't he have two dogs? To say, doesn't he have two dogs? In Spanish, you have to say, ¿no tiene él dos perros? ¿No tiene él dos perros? Okay? And the negative answer would be, no, he has two cats. To say no, he has two cats, in Spanish you have to say, no, él tiene dos gatos. No, él tiene dos gatos, okay? No, he has two cats. All right, so now let's go to our next personal pronoun. Okay, we are talking about she. So the negative question would be, doesn't she have 20 years? So to say, doesn't she have 20 years? In Spanish, we have to say, ¿no tiene ella 20 años? ¿No tiene ella 20 años? Okay, and now the negative answer would be, no, she has 80 years. To say no, she has 80 years, in Spanish you have to say, no, ella tiene 80 años. No, ella tiene 80 años, okay? And that would be the negative answer in Spanish. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, the negative question would be, don't we have a very big family? Don't we have a very big family? To say this, in Spanish we have to say, ¿no tenemos nosotros una familia muy grande? ¿No tenemos nosotros una familia muy grande? Or also you only can say, ¿no tenemos una familia muy grande? Okay? And now the negative answer would be, no, we have a small family. Okay? To say no, we have a small family. In Spanish, we have to say, no, tenemos una familia pequeña. No, tenemos una familia pequeña. Okay? Now let's go with the personal pronoun you in the plural form, okay? To say, don't you have a lot of work? Don't you have a lot of work? To say this, in Spanish we have to say, ¿no tienen ustedes mucho trabajo? ¿No tienen ustedes mucho trabajo? Okay? And the negative answer would be, no, we don't have a lot of work. To say no, we don't have a lot of work. In Spanish, we have to say, no, no tenemos mucho trabajo. No, no tenemos mucho trabajo. Now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we're talking about a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, then the negative question in English would be, don't they have a very good sense of humor? Don't they have a very good sense of humor? Okay? To say this in Spanish, we have to say, ¿no tienen ellos muy buen sentido del humor? ¿No tienen ellos muy buen sentido del humor? Okay? And the negative answer would be, no, they are so boring. Okay? So to say no, they are so boring, in Spanish you have to say, no, ellos son muy aburridos. No, ellos son muy aburridos. And now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we're talking about a group of girls, okay, only girls, then the negative question would be, don't they have singing classes? Don't they have English classes? Okay. In Spanish, it would be, ¿no tienen ellas clases de canto? ¿No tienen ellas clases de canto? Okay, that would be the negative question, okay? And the negative answer would be, no, they don't have singing classes, okay? So to say, no, they don't have English classes, you have to say, no, ellas no tienen clases de canto. All right, so now let's see the second form of the verb have, okay? We're going to use have to as expressing an obligation, something we really have to do and need to do, okay? So to say have to, in Spanish, we have to say tengo que. Tengo que. Okay, and now let's see how we're going to conjugate this verb, tengo que, according to the affirmative form, okay? Forma afirmativa. All right, as you can see, we're having the personal pronouns in Spanish, okay? So according to the first personal pronoun, yo, I, if I want to say I have to, okay, in Spanish, I'm going to say yo tengo que. Okay, and then after that, I have to, then the activity you have to do. Okay, for example, I have to do the dishes. Yo tengo que lavar los trastes. Okay, yo tengo que lavar los trastes means I have to do the dishes. Okay, now let's go to the next personal pronoun, you, tú. Okay, so to say you have to, in Spanish we have to say tú tienes que. Tú tienes que. Okay, now according to the personal pronoun he, él, okay, I forgot to put an accent, so remember to put an accent in letter E. To say he has to, in Spanish you have to say él tiene que. Él tiene que. Okay, he has to. Now, according to the personal pronoun she, to say she has to, you have to say in Spanish, ella tiene que. Ella tiene que. Okay, she has to. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, to say we have to, in Spanish we have to say nosotros tenemos que. Nosotros tenemos que. Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, to say you have to in the plural form, in Spanish you have to say ustedes tienen que. Ustedes tienen que. All right, so now we have these personal pronouns, okay? In Spanish, ellos, ellas. In English, they, okay? So if we're talking about a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, then to say they have to, then in Spanish, we're going to say ellos tienen que. Ellos tienen que. Okay, now if we are referring only to a group of females, girls, then to say they have to, we have to say in Spanish, ellas tienen que. Ellas tienen que. Now let's see some examples according to the personal pronouns. Okay, we have the personal pronoun I, yo. Okay, so according to this, the affirmative sentence would be I have to drive to work. To say I have to drive to work, in Spanish we're going to say yo tengo que manejar al trabajo. Yo tengo que manejar al trabajo. That means I have to, yo tengo que, drive to work, manejar al trabajo. Okay, drive, manejar, to work, al trabajo. Now, according to the personal pronoun you, the affirmative sentence would be you have to charge your phone. You have to charge your phone. Okay, so to say this, in Spanish we have to say tú tienes que cargar tu celular. Tú tienes que cargar tu celular. Tú, you, tienes que, have to, charge your phone, cargar tu celular. Okay? All right, so now according to the personal pronoun he, the positive affirmative sentence would be he has to wake up early tomorrow, okay? So to say he has to wake up early tomorrow, in Spanish we have to say él tiene que levantarse temprano mañana. Él tiene que levantarse temprano mañana. Okay, he, él, has to, tiene que, wake up early, levantarse temprano, tomorrow. mañana. Now, according to the personal pronoun she, to create an affirmative sentence, we have to say, she has to study for her test, okay? So we're going to say this in this way in Spanish, okay? Ella tiene que estudiar para su examen. Ella tiene que estudiar para su examen, okay? She, ella, has to, tiene que, study, estudiar, for, para, her test, su examen, okay? Ella tiene que estudiar para su examen. Now we have, according to the personal pronoun we, the affirmative sentence would be, we have to eat something. We have to eat something. To say we have to eat something, in Spanish we have to say, nosotros tenemos que comer algo. Nosotros tenemos que comer algo. Okay, that means we have to eat something. Nosotros tenemos que comer algo. All right, so now we have the personal pronoun you in the plural form, okay? So if we want to say, you have to watch this movie. To say you have to watch this movie, in Spanish you have to say, ustedes tienen que ver esta película. Ustedes tienen que ver esta película. Ustedes, you, have to, tienen que, watch this movie, ver, watch, esta película, this movie, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we're talking about a group of girls and boys mixed or only boys, then the affirmative sentence would be, they have to finish the project on Monday, okay? To say they have to finish the project on Monday, in Spanish you have to say, ellos tienen que terminar el proyecto el lunes. Ellos tienen que terminar el proyecto el lunes, okay? Ellos, they, have to, tienen que, finish the project, terminar el proyecto, on Monday, el lunes. Ellos tienen que terminar el proyecto el lunes. Now, according to the personal pronoun they, according to females, okay, a group of females, remember, only females, girls, then the affirmative sentence in English would be, they have to travel to New York tomorrow. To say they have to travel to New York tomorrow, in Spanish we have to say, ellas tienen que viajar a Nueva York mañana. Ellas tienen que viajar a Nueva York mañana. Okay? They, ellas, have to, tienen que, travel to, viajar a, Nueva York, New York, mañana, tomorrow. Okay, and that would be the translation. Now let's go to the negative form, forma negativa, okay? All right, so to say, I don't have to in Spanish, we're going to say, yo no tengo que. Okay, first we have our personal pronoun, then we have the word no, to deny, and then have to. Tengo que. Okay, so to say I don't have to, you have to say in Spanish, yo no tengo que, and then your complement, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun you, to say you don't have to, in Spanish you have to say tú no tienes que, tú no tienes que. And then according to the personal pronoun he, él, to say he doesn't have to, you have to say él no tiene que, él no tiene que. Now, according to the personal pronoun she, ella, if you want to say she doesn't have to, you have to say in Spanish, ella no tiene que, ella no tiene que. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, to say we don't have to, in Spanish we have to say nosotros no tenemos que, nosotros no tenemos que. Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, if you want to say you don't have to, in Spanish you have to say ustedes no tienen que, ustedes no tienen que. And now, according to the personal pronoun they, if you are referring to a group of boys and girls or boys only, to say they don't have to, you have to say in Spanish, ellos no tienen que. Ellos no tienen que. Okay, and now if you are referring to a group of girls, then you have to say, ellas no tienen que. Ellas no tienen que. Now let's use some examples, okay, with the negative form, okay, to say, I don't have to drive to work. I don't have to drive to work. In Spanish, you have to say, yo no tengo que manejar al trabajo. Yo no tengo que manejar al trabajo, okay? Yo, I don't have to, no tengo que, and then drive to work, manejar al trabajo, okay? So this would be the negative form. Now, according to the personal pronoun you, to say you don't have to charge your phone, to say you don't need to charge your phone, then you have to say in Spanish, tú no tienes que cargar tu celular. Tú no tienes que cargar tu celular. Tú, that means you, no tienes que, don't have to, cargar, that means charge, your phone, tu celular. All right, now according to the personal pronoun he, okay, the negative sentence would be, he doesn't have to wake up early tomorrow, okay, to say he doesn't have to wake up early tomorrow. In Spanish, you have to say, él no tiene que levantarse temprano mañana. Él no tiene que levantarse temprano mañana. Okay, that means he, él, doesn't have to, no tiene que, wake up, levantarse, early, temprano, tomorrow, mañana. Now, according to the personal pronoun she, to say she doesn't have to study for the test, or she doesn't have to study for her test, okay? Then we have to say, ella no tiene que estudiar para su examen. Ella no tiene que estudiar para su examen. Ella, she, doesn't have to, no tiene que, study, estudiar, for, para, her, su, test, examen. ¿Ok? Ella no tiene que estudiar para su examen. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, the negative sentence would be, we don't have to eat something. We don't have to eat something. Okay? In Spanish, to say this, we have to say, nosotros no tenemos que comer algo. Nosotros no tenemos que comer algo. Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, okay, the negative sentence would be, you don't have to watch this movie. To say you don't have to watch this movie, in Spanish you have to say, ustedes no tienen que ver esta película. Ustedes no tienen que ver esta película. Okay, ustedes, you, don't have to, no tienen que, watch this movie, ver esta película. Now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we're talking about a group of boys and girls, or only boys, then the negative sentence would be, they don't have to finish the project they don't have to finish the project on Monday, okay? So to say this, in Spanish we have to say, ellos no tienen que terminar el proyecto el lunes. Ellos no tienen que terminar el proyecto el lunes, okay? Ellos, they, don't have to, no tienen que, finish the project, terminar el proyecto, on Monday, el lunes. Ellos no tienen que terminar el proyecto el lunes. That would be the negative sentence. Now, if we're talking about the personal pronoun, ellas, they, okay, we're talking about only girls, then to say they don't have to travel to New York tomorrow. To say this in Spanish, we have to say, ellas no tienen que viajar a Nueva York mañana. Ellas no tienen que viajar a Nueva York mañana, okay? Ellas, they, don't have to, no tienen que, travel, viajar, to New York, a Nueva York, tomorrow, mañana. All right, so now let's see the affirmative or positive interrogative form, okay? Vamos a ver la forma interrogativa positiva. So here we have our questions, okay? So to say, do I have to? Okay, to say, do I have to? In Spanish, we're going to say, tengo yo que, and then after that, our complement, okay? Do I have to? Tengo yo que. Now, if we're talking about the personal pronoun you, to say, do you have to? We have to say in Spanish, tienes tú que? Do you have to? Now, according to the personal pronoun he, to say, does he have to? We have to say, tiene el que? Tiene el que? Now, according to the personal pronoun she, to say does she have to, we have to say in Spanish, ¿tiene ella que? ¿Tiene ella que? Now, according to the personal pronoun we, to say do we have to, we have to say in Spanish, ¿tenemos nosotros que? ¿Tenemos nosotros que? Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, in English we have to say, do you have to? But in Spanish we're going to say, ¿tienen ustedes que? ¿Tienen ustedes que? Now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we are referring to a group of boys and girls or boys, then the question would be, do they have to? Do they have to? In Spanish, we have to say, ¿tienen ellos que? ¿Tienen ellos que? And now, if we are referring to a group of girls, then the question would be, do they have to? The same in English, but in Spanish, we're going to say, ¿tienen ellas que? ¿Tienen ellas que? Now, let's see some examples according to the personal pronouns we have, okay? So, let's create a positive affirmative sentence question, okay? And let's see how we can answer them in a positive affirmative way, okay? So let's start with the first personal pronoun, I, yo. Okay, so to create a question, an affirmative question, we have to do this, okay? Do I have to drive to work? That would be our question, affirmative question. Do I have to drive to work in English, okay? In Spanish, we have to say, ¿tengo yo que manejar al trabajo? Okay, first we have tengo yo que. Okay, first we're going to put the word, the verb, tengo, and then after that, our personal pronoun, yo, in this case, I, and then after that, que. Okay, in English, it was like the question was, do I have to? Okay, in Spanish, tengo, first the verb, tengo, then the pronoun, yo, and then the word que. In English, we put to. In Spanish, we're going to put que. Tengo yo que manejar al trabajo. Do I have to? And then after the word que, we have to put our verb. Okay, in this case, the verb was drive, manejar in Spanish. Okay, so after the word que, we have to put the verb. Okay, ¿tengo yo que manejar al trabajo? Do I have to drive to work? Okay, and then the affirmative answer would be, yes, I have to drive to work. To say yes, I have to drive to work, in Spanish I have to say, sí, tengo que manejar al trabajo. Sí, tengo que manejar al trabajo. Okay, that means yes, sí, I have to drive. Tengo que, remember, tengo que, have to. I have to drive, manejar, to work, al trabajo. Okay, so it would be, sí, tengo que manejar al trabajo. That would be the affirmative answer. Now, according to the personal pronoun you, the affirmative question in English would be, do you have to charge your cell phone? Do you have to charge your cell phone? Okay, in Spanish, we have to say, ¿tienes tú que cargar tu celular? ¿Tienes tú que cargar tu celular? Okay, first, remember the verb to have, the conjugation according to our personal pronoun, you. Okay, ¿tienes tú Okay, first, tienes, then pronoun tú, and after that, the word que, okay, and then after that, your verb, okay? So the question would be, ¿tienes tú que cargar tu celular? Okay, and now the affirmative answer would be, yes, I have to charge my cell phone in English, okay? In Spanish, you have to say, sí, tengo que cargar mi celular. Sí, tengo que cargar mi celular. Yes, I have to charge my cell phone. And that would be your positive affirmative answer. Now, according to the personal pronoun he, okay, the question, the affirmative question would be, does he have to wake up early in the morning? Okay, so to say, does he have to wake up early in the morning? In Spanish, we have to say, ¿tiene él que levantarse temprano mañana? Does he have to? Tiene el que, and then your verb, wake up, levantarse, early, temprano, tomorrow, mañana, and that would be your affirmative question, okay? ¿Tiene él que levantarse temprano mañana? And the affirmative answer would be, yes, he has to wake up early in the morning tomorrow, okay? In Spanish, we're going to say, sí, él tiene que levantarse temprano mañana. Sí, yes. Él tiene que, he has to, wake up early tomorrow. Levantarse temprano, wake up early, tomorrow, mañana. Now, according to the personal pronoun she, the affirmative question would be, does she have to study for the test? Does she have to study for her test? Okay, not the test, her test. So the translation would be in Spanish, ¿tiene ella que estudiar para su examen? ¿Tiene ella que estudiar para su examen? Does she have to? ¿Tiene ella que study, estudiar for her test, para su examen? Okay, that would be the question. ¿Tiene que ella estudiar para su examen? And then the answer would be, the positive answer would be, yes, she has to study for her test. Okay, so to say yes, she has to study for her test. In Spanish, you have to say, sí, ella tiene que estudiar para su examen. Sí, ella tiene que estudiar para su examen. Yes, she has to study for the test, for her test. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, the affirmative question would be, do we have something to eat? Do we have to eat something? Sorry, that would be, do we have to eat something? ¿Tenemos nosotros que comer algo? Do we have to eat something? Okay, that would be the affirmative question. And the affirmative answer would be, yes, we have to eat something. To say yes, we have to eat something, we have to say, sí, nosotros tenemos que comer algo. Sí, nosotros tenemos que comer algo. Okay, yes, sí. We have to, nosotros tenemos que, eat something, comer algo. Now, according to the personal pronoun you in the plural form, the affirmative question would be, do you have to watch this movie? Do you have to watch this movie? Okay, in Spanish you have to say, ¿tienen ustedes que ver esta película? ¿Tienen ustedes que ver esta película? ¿Tienen ustedes? Do you have to que ver esta película? Watch this movie? And then the affirmative answer would be, yes, we have to watch this movie. Or we have to watch the movie. Okay? Sí, nosotros tenemos que ver la película. In this case, I made a little mistake. It's like this movie, esta película, not the movie, okay? So the answer would be sí, yes. We have to, nosotros tenemos que watch, ver this movie. Esta película, okay? Or the movie, in this case, la película, the. But we're using esta, this movie, okay? Now, according to the personal pronoun they, if we're talking about a group of boys and girls or only boys, then the question in English would be, did they have to finish the project on Monday? Do they have to finish the project on Monday? To say this in Spanish, we have to say, ¿tienen ellos que terminar el proyecto el lunes? ¿Tienen ellos que terminar el proyecto el lunes? ¿Tienen ellos que? That means, do they have to? And then finish, terminar, the project, el proyecto, on Monday. That would be the affirmative question, okay? And the affirmative answer would be yes. They have to finish the project on Monday. So to say yes, they have to finish the project on Monday, you have to say yes. Sí. They have to. Ellos tienen que finish, terminar, the project, el proyecto, on Monday, el lunes. So that would be the translation. Now, we have the next affirmative question, okay? According to the personal pronoun, they, if we are talking about a group of girls, okay? So to say, do they have to travel to New York tomorrow? Do they have to travel to New York tomorrow? In Spanish, we have to say, ¿tienen ellas que viajar a Nueva York mañana? ¿Tienen ellas que viajar a Nueva York mañana? ¿Tienen ellas que? Do they have to travel, viajar, to a New York, Nueva York, tomorrow, mañana? And the affirmative answer would be yes, they have to travel to New York tomorrow, okay? Sí, ellas tienen que viajar a Nueva York mañana. Sí, yes. They, ellas, have to, tienen que, travel, viajar, to New York, a Nueva York, tomorrow, mañana. And that would be the affirmative answer. Now let's see the negative interrogative form, okay? Forma interrogativa negativa, okay? Now we have these personal pronouns. Let's start with the first one, I, yo. Okay, so the negative question would be, don't I have to? Don't I have to? Okay, that would be the negative question. In Spanish, that means no tengo yo que. First, we have to put the word no to deny, negative question, okay? No. And then after that, the verb to have conjugated, okay? According to the personal pronoun I, the conjugation would be tengo. No tengo, and then after our verb to have, we have to put the personal pronoun we're going to use. In this case, a personal pronoun, I, yo, in Spanish, okay? And then the word que, have to, no tengo que. Entonces first we have to put the word no, and then the verb have, then personal pronoun, and then the word que. It's equivalent of saying to. Okay? Don't I have to? No tengo yo que. Okay? Now, according to the next personal pronoun, you, that means to say, don't you have to? Okay? That's a negative question. To say, don't you have to? In Spanish, we have to say, no tienes tú que, and then our complement, okay? No tienes tú que. No tienes tú que. Now the next personal pronoun we have, it's he. Okay, so to say, doesn't he have to? To say, doesn't he have to, we have to say, no tiene el que. Okay, in Spanish. No tiene el que. Now, according to the personal pronoun she, to say, doesn't she have to, we have to say, no tiene ella que. No tiene ella que. Now, according to the personal pronoun we, to say, don't we have to, we have to say, no tenemos nosotros que. No tenemos nosotros que. Now, according to the personal pronoun you, in the plural form, okay, the negative question would be, don't you have to? Okay? In Spanish, we have to say, no tienen ustedes que. No tienen ustedes que. And finally, we have the personal pronoun they, okay? So if we're talking about a group of boys or boys and girls mixed, then the negative question would be, don't they have to? Don't they have to? Okay, in Spanish, if we are referring to a group of boys and girls or boys, ¿tienen ellos que? ¿Tienen ellos que? And now if we are referring to a group of girls, then we have to say, ¿tienen ellas que? ¿Tienen ellas que? So that would be all for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!